Hi, my name's Rachel Andrews. Welcome to Everyday Athlete. On this week's video, I thought we'd take a look at how to swim through the winter. This week, for the first time ever, I'm really pleased to have a free prize draw on my channel. At the end of this video, I'll explain how to join it, but it's to win one of two changing robes, the Lomo changing robe and the Frostfire moon wrap changing robe. So hang on to the end of the video to find out how to enter. Something to note is that outdoor swimming definitely changes in the winter. It is less about fitness and probably for me more about well-being. So it's really difficult with the dropping temperatures to stay in long enough without a wetsuit to be able to use it for fitness. So I tend to switch my fitness over to something different over the winter. And having looked at last week's video, I decided it was time to get myself back onto the Sofa to 5K, which I almost finished in the summer. When I first started outdoor swimming, it was all about the fitness aspect, kind of mind against matter and being in the water. And I really couldn't see the point in doing a dip, just getting in for a few minutes and getting out. Didn't really make much sense to me. Why get your stuff wet for such a short period? I'd never do that in a pool. And yet here I am. I find myself in the water with just a maximum of 15 minutes. I found something that's made a big difference to my winter swimming. It's having a routine. And by that I mean a routine about how I get undressed so that all my stuff is ready in order for me to get dressed when I get out. I don't have a lot of patience and quite often not much dexterity, so I don't want to be ferreting around for my kit. I want to pick it up piece by piece to put on the right bit in the right order. Given the critical nature of trying to start that rewarming process nice and early, I made a video called How to Minimise After Drop, and I'll link that below. In terms of kit to swim in, I would take that really simply. Just go with a swimming costume to start with, and then perhaps add on some bits of neoprene if you're feeling the cold like I do. Don't dive straight into getting a wetsuit because they're quite a lot more difficult to fit than buying boots or gloves and a neoprene hat and cap. Those things are pretty much going to fit most people straight off the shelf. I've made a video about what to wear for outdoor swimming, which I'll link below, so take a look at that to get some ideas. It's not a competition though. It's not about who can wear the most, the least, who can stay in the longest. Just wear what feels right for you. In winter, the choice of location is really important. Trying to make sure that you're able to get dried and dressed somewhere out of the wind is absolutely imperative, and if at all possible, that should be one of your main focuses. So I picked to come and swim here because I knew that the wind was blowing off the land, and you can see that from the graphic I'll stick up somewhere in the image. Having got down here, we're going to swim within the flat water rather than venturing over to where there's little riffles, which is where the wind is, and that will be quite a lot colder. So although it's only going to be cold on our faces, that makes quite a bit of difference when the outside temperature is about 3 degrees. So I think we're going to swim up this way and back. Swimming with somebody is a really nice thing to do. It's great to have the company, it's good for motivation, but there's one thing you just need to be aware of, and that's that you don't accidentally succumb to peer pressure and inadvertently ramp up the length of time you're staying in for either yourself or the other person. So just think about agreeing how long you're thinking you're going in for, and then checking in with each other throughout the swim to decide whether actually that was a sensible amount of time, or whether in fact you'd be as well getting out now. Talking of peer pressure, it's really easy to succumb to that online, or even to accidentally partake in it. think about what you're posting, about the length of time you're staying in and what the temperature was, and think, people who are less experienced may be influenced to try and stay in longer than is good for them. So I tend not to post temperatures, hardly ever actually, because that information is for me something that I just track myself to see, actually I thought it was really cold compared to last week, and then I'll have a look and see if indeed it was, or whether in fact it's just because I'm feeling a bit chilly. So winter swimming is about lowering your expectations in terms of the time that you can spend viably in the water safely. I tend to think of it as my time, and time for me to get in and refresh myself from whatever's happening in the world, and there's quite a lot going on at the moment, isn't there? I don't tend to think of it as fitness, because as the temperatures get cooler I need to be going in for less and less time. And I'm also mindful of hurting myself and causing permanent damage. If my fingers are getting cold, I need to shorten down the length of time I'm in. I mean, I've worn gloves, but my fingertips are pretty chilly this morning from that swim. So I need to think about maybe I was in a little bit too long, because I don't want to cause permanent damage to the nerve endings on my fingers or toes. I've actually recorded a video called How Long Should I Stay In? And I will put that in the links below, because it helps you to determine how your body is coping with it and signs to look for to tell you whether or not to get out. Nobody can tell you whether to keep on swimming and whether the swimming over the winter is right for you. Only you can know that. But from my point of view, it's about just keeping on, turning up and getting in. Even though the timings get gradually shorter, you reach a point where you think, oh, I could stay in a little bit longer. Probably around about end of March time, the temperature starts rising and you can stay in that little bit longer, and it starts to become more like summer swimming, where we can use it for fitness again. Remember, outdoor swimming is not a competition. It doesn't matter if you wear a wetsuit, a swimsuit, no suit. Nobody cares what you wear, and nobody is competing with you. So whether you go in and you decide that your cutoff is 10 degrees, or you're happy to go right down and you want to train for an ice mile, that's absolutely up to you. The only person you need to impress, if at all, is yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and if you have, you'll think about dropping it a like and giving me a comment. I always reply to my comments. And also, hang on a moment and I'll talk about that free draw. So, over to the free draw. Thank you so much to Lomo Watersport and to Frostfire for providing me with the 2 changing robes that are included in this prize draw. It's only open to UK residents, unfortunately, but look in the links below and you'll see there is a website to click on, and then it comes up with this little screen here. A bit of a boring screen, that's probably mainly down to the fact I didn't pay for the competition site, but you can join by all of these different methods, and you can get up to 10 different entries into it. It's going to be open for a month, and then I'll draw out the 2 prize winners who will get either the Lomo changing robe or the moon wrap one. Good luck! While you're at it, please consider subscribing to my channel. I put out a new video every Tuesday. I'll see you next week.